Mmm, delicious bread. Everyone knows and appreciates it. But do you know what it means to have delicious bread available every day? Perhaps unexpectedly, this is an opportunity to give you a concrete presentation of Staphyt's activities. It all starts with a wheat seed. For the farmer to be able to sow the best varieties adapted to his land, it took years of research. This is James from the Agrosciences Seeds team at Staphyt, who is specialized in variety selection trials. His role is to compare a large number of varieties to define their agronomic characteristics, so that the breeder can propose new varieties to farmers, more resistant, with improved potential. Once the suitable variety has been chosen, it needs to be nurtured and protected to express its fullest potential while preserving the environment where the wheat will be grown. Let's meet Dan and Emily from the field team at Staphyt. Their role is to test and compare products that are applied to wheat in vegetation, to ensure its nutrition or its protection, and to ensure a successful crop development until spring. You are probably wondering how these plant protection products are developed and tested. This is another long process. A company commissioned Staphyt to carry out studies on a new agricultural product to be able to commercialize it. To begin, Staphyt accompanies and advises the client to plan all the studies required to apply for the registration of this new product. The development of agricultural products requires about 10 years of research and testing to demonstrate that the product is effective and, above all, that it is safe for the farmer, the consumers of the harvested product, and the environment. Each product applied to the seed or during vegetation must have received commercial authorization. Once the authorization is validated, it can be offered to farmers. Let's go back to the wheat field to our technicians who are involved in the preliminary research. This is Elizabeth. She is part of the ecotoxology team, in charge of environmental risk assessment. She carries out studies on water, soil, and fauna, and beneficial insects such as bees. This is George. He is part of the LNG team at Staphyt. His role is to complete the field trials with advanced studies to know the precise mode of action of the product. Once the studies are completed, the different teams send the results of their studies to Gwen in Staphyt's regulatory department. Gwen and her colleagues' role is to compile all the data collected so that the company offering the product can apply for the marketing authorization, and thus the farmer can use it. Once the research and studies on the wheat in vegetation are completed, it's time to harvest. We find James from the seeds team on his combine harvester. He is harvesting all of his plots. Each individual plot harvest will be weighed and analyzed to estimate the crop's quantity and quality and complete the agronomic information collected since sowing. We also find Dan and Emily. They are also harvesting to assess the impact of the treatments on the crop. The teams collect and send samples to the laboratories for post-harvest analysis and studies, such as testing for residues of products applied during the vegetation period, measuring yield characteristics, and conducting bread-making tests in the processing laboratory. Once the wheat is harvested, it is stored in silos until it is processed into flour. The silos must be disinfected, and where the wheat is stored, care must be taken to ensure that insects such as grain weevils do not damage the precious goods. Maria and her colleagues advise and support companies proposing new biocides products on the studies to be carried out before commercialization. As before, the tests to be performed are entrusted to specialized laboratories, and Gwen will gather all the data to compile the registration file. In the processing lab, Anna receives the wheat samples harvested by James, Dan, or Emily. She will grind the grain, sample by sample, to produce flour. She then collects the flour samples to make bread. The bread-making quality will be characterized and added to all the data specific to the variety or to the agronomic program tested. A tasting session by specially trained professionals will reveal any potential differences between batches of wheat. Bread production and selling in bakeries are also done with great caution regarding hygiene precautions for people, facilities, and premises to ensure bread of the highest quality. As for the previous phases, hygiene products are subject to commercialization authorization. Our regulatory team also manages the constitution and submission of these files. As you have discovered, Staphyt is a community of passionate experts who are specialists in their respective fields. This combined expertise is what makes our know-how and support unique throughout the world. You are now well informed and can now appreciate this delicious bread. Enjoy! Staphyt, acting together to feed the world sustainably.